Say while on my tripod is playing me like this. All right, assalamu alaikum everyone. I have been wanting to do this video for a very long time, and I was reflecting today. This was supposed to be my filming time, but I was like, I want this to be as organic as possible. I don't want it to be scripted, and I want it to really be from the heart. So I decided that doing it in a live video format would be best. Is there a way that I can make this sideways? Oops. Trying to see if I can make this landscape. I guess not. That's fine, inshallah. So I've been thinking about this topic because I kept seeing videos popping up on YouTube with the same exact title. And I was thinking about what does this mean to me when this is your sign to go all in, and what would I want for people who are on my channel? And obviously, you guys are, if you're watching my channel, you are someone who cares about God conscious healing, God conscious self improvement. What would I want them to think? Wa alaikum assalam to everyone who's watching. Feel free to comment, inshallah. This is going to be a shorter live. This is your sign to go all in. And when I say that, I mean, this is your sign, whatever it is for you, whether it is your health, whether it is your healing, whether it is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is your sign to stop with the excuses, stop with the self sabotage, and decide that you are going to move forward, inshallah. Here's the thing, oftentimes, the thing that keeps us from moving forward, from going all in, is a lot of fear and allowing the past to inform the future. Now, the past, what has happened in the past is data. And we can think of situations where we tried and tried and tried when it came to different types of goals that we had, and maybe we just failed miserably. And so we hold on to that fear, and we basically project it onto our future, and we say, well, if I try again, it's not going to work. But the thing about self improvement, if you go to people who have succeeded across the spectrum, I don't care if if your definition of success is in deen, in wealth, in business, in education, in health, it doesn't matter. There's something special that they have done that we usually fail to recognize, which is they tried a multitude of methods to get to where they got you. It's very rare to find someone who just out of luck managed to do single thing correctly. If they did, then eventually they'll fail because there was never a system to what they did and they can't replicate it. But the reality of it is, it's sometimes that one mindset shift that we make. It's sometimes that one circumstance that we change. It's sometimes that one specific action that we take that we didn't take all the other times we tried that makes a difference. And so going all in is the willingness to make the intention and say, I don't care what comes up. I don't care if it is my mood, because a lot of times, right, we feel we're too tired. We're not motivated. I feel depressed. I feel anxious. I don't care about if it's my mood. That's not holding me back anymore. I don't care if it's my circumstances. I grew up in an abusive household. I feel traumatized. Maybe I live in this place and it's not conducive to those goals. I'm not using that as an excuse anymore. I am not knowledgeable enough about Islam. I don't know how to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've never been a good Muslim. We're not using that as an excuse anymore. Instead, we are going to focus on something called locus of control. What is a locus of control? Your locus of control are the things that you can actually do something about. I'm not saying I'm a trauma coach. Obviously, I believe that your circumstances can impact so many aspects of your life, right? The trauma you've experienced can impact your health. It can impact your, obviously, the actions that you take. It can impact your relationships in the future. But the difference between those of my clients, the people like my clients, for example, who put in the time and the effort and have the belief that if they can do something to change even years and years of experiencing trauma, the difference between them and someone who just sits down and accepts that this is how it is, so this is how it must always be, is that the first group, people like my clients, people like you guys who watch these videos and take in the information, you believe that you can still seize the future. Right, you don't allow yourself to get arrested in the state of, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make an impact. You are willing to lay out all the data in front of you and figure out the strategy and the loopholes. You guys, sometimes it really is that we have to treat our self improvement like we would treat a business. right? Where we sit back and we look at the information and the data and we think, okay, these are the things that kept holding me back in the past. What can I do about them? These are the unchangeables. I can't do anything about them. Allah, I'm going to have tawakkul on Allah for those things. Here's what I can do, right? When it comes to examples, there are people who have genetic diseases, right? There are very few things from the health perspective that is as out of your hands as a genetic disease, a genetically transmitted disease. But even with those genetic diseases, you can still do things to help improve your symptoms, to help improve the severity. In certain diseases where we almost know with 100% certainty that you're going to develop this at a later time, there are often still, even if they might seem extreme, surgeries, medications that can be done to help prevent the progression or stop it altogether. I'm using this as an example because, as you guys know, I practice medicine. It's the first example that came to my mind. But one thing that has transformed my healing journey is even in the lowest of the low, I thought to myself, what can I do to make a difference? What can I do today? What is in my locus of control today that's going to be able to impact my future? Why is this? You guys might have heard of the 1% rule. If you have not heard of the 1% rule, it's the idea that instead of trying to make these huge leaps and bounds in your self improvement, in your healing, start looking at it as if you are doing, as if every little bit counts, because every little bit does count. If you've watched earlier videos on the very, very beginning of my YouTube journey, you will notice that so often I would mention this, like this idea of counting little wins, and my YouTube channel is actually a really good example of that. The first videos, if you go on early, not the best production. I'm struggling with presenting my point. I stutter a bit, right? Even though I've done public speaking in the past, YouTube was new to me. And now fast forward, there are edits, things are explained hopefully a lot more clear. Alhamdulillah, the channel has grown. I remember when I first started off, I had 50 something subscribers. And now we're at above 12,000, alhamdulillah, every bit. And this was happening over a period of almost a year. I started my channel in June of last year. Every little bit counted. Every technique that I learned for editing, every time I learned how to script it better, how to make a better thumbnail. When I started, I'm hiring out someone to make thumbnails for me. Now I just make them my own. I don't always like the styles of certain thumbnails that are out. There was always something that was improving. What if you apply that principle to whatever it is for you? You find yourself constantly falling into a sin. What if you apply the 1% rule? Well, maybe I'm going to try to get to a day without doing this sin, right? Then I'm going to try to get through a week. Then I'm going to try to get through a month. And if I fall, I'm going to start investigating what can I alter in my environment that is going to help me avoid that sin. When it comes to your health, instead of thinking about how can I be the how can I gain 20 pounds of muscle, and everyone, I want that flat tummy with like the a six pack. If you've been overweight most of your life, to expect that you're going to jump to that in such a short period of time is unrealistic. What if we changed the what we were putting in our body? What if instead of drinking calorie ridden drinks, we started switching over to water exclusively? Now we're doing, we're not in a full caloric deficit, but at least we've cut down on calories. What if we started thinking about, okay, what are my favorite foods and what can I use as healthy alternative? What if instead of trying to push ourselves to go to the gym 4 times a week or 5 times a week for 2 hours straight, and then burning ourselves out and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to do it." You just got yourself to the gym. Just drive yourself there, right? I know it sounds silly, especially if someone here is like someone who works out actively. You're probably like, "What are these excuses?" But sometimes we need something to help lower the amount of activation energy, or the how much resistance we have to push against to get us there. But that's still going all in, because you are saying, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do the things that I need to do to allow myself to go all in. Go all in doesn't mean that you throw every bit. I know people say, like, go monk mode, you throw every bit of energy you can. Go all in means I'm moving forward and I'm not allowing myself to turn back. And whatever I have to do to make that happen, I'm going to do. So it might be that in the stage one of you figuring out what it is that I want, different achievements that I want to make. In stage one, it might seem like your efforts are so minimal, but they're not. They're not, because they are literally leading to, they are going to transcend time, right? The habits you're building now, in a year, you're going to look back and you'll be like, oh my God, I used to only be able to do this and now I can't do that. I remember when I first started weight training, right? I couldn't even pick up like a 5 pound dumbbell, right? And do a bicep curl. Like I was in so much pain after doing it. That's how deconditioned I was. And now it feels like absolutely nothing, right? And that's just how things happen. When we think about intentions, and I don't know if I mentioned intentions already, inshallah, and I do have to close this live in like 2 minutes or so because I have a call for my trauma, an applicant for the trauma group coaching program. But intentions are so powerful, and our deen, our actions ride on these intentions, right? The hadith of the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, "Innama al-a'malu bin-niyat wa innama likulli imri'in ma nawa." Indeed, all actions are by intentions, and for every person is what he intended. Now, this applies to good actions. You can't have a good intention for a sin and you don't get rewarded for that. But when we have a good intention for a good action, and even if we don't get to fully act it out, there's something incredible that happens metaphysically. And wallahi, I swear by this, you guys, there has not been a time that I have intended something and maybe I didn't get to do it in that instance, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up the opportunity to do that thing or something similar in the future. I remember in a time of my life when I didn't have the best of friends around me and I felt like it was affecting me in my deen. I asked Allah, oh Allah, give me better friends. Like I will do what I need to do to figure out how to make better friends. But I felt like I didn't have a car yet. I couldn't meet people. Subhanallah, it took me like 2 or 3 years to see the answer to that dua. But I made the intention and Allah opened the doors for me. When I made the intention, Ya Allah, I want to help other Muslims who heal so that they don't have to experience the level of pain and depression that I felt for so long. The things that I figured out, I want to make it accessible to other people. I didn't know how I was going to do that. Several years later, I have a coaching business. I have a YouTube channel, alhamdulillah, that's growing. I have an Instagram that now posts are suddenly going viral. There's barakah. When we make intention, there is powerful barakah behind it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows for these things to happen. But it requires us to go all in and to show to ourselves and show to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, for this thing that I believe that there is khair in, I am going to put my effort. When I am feeling demotivated, I'm going to do what I need to do to push myself towards a goal. When I'm feeling like I'm on fire, I'm going to pour myself into it. But the one thing I'm not going to do is turn back. That is going all in. Don't think that it's just going monk mode and all you ever do is focus 24/7 and all of a sudden you're working 7 days a week on this goal. It's I'm going to keep moving forward. Right. I was giving an example to a coaching client yesterday. Sometimes we're walking on flat ground and you see someone running on flat ground, they're really fast. That's powerful. But sometimes they're running up an incline, a hill. They can't run that fast, but they're still making progress. So don't always, sometimes there are seasons where things are going to be really easy and you're going to be on fire. Sometimes there are going to be seasons where you are falling short and you feel like you're being held back. It's all information. Just keep going, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you guys. I'll look at these real quick, but then I do have to go. Wa alaikum assalam from Seattle, um, from Kosovo, assalamu alaikum, from England, Free Palestine, wa alaikum assalam from Bosnia and Herzegovina, wa alaikum assalam from Germany. What are we going all in on? Whatever you got to go in that's going to bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be the answer to your dua. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, give us goodness in the dunya and in the akhirah and protect us from the punishment of hellfire. This is truly a sign, subhanAllah, I'm stuck in a haram relationship with a narcissistic person, and we have a 2-year-old son. I'm realizing for months that I must leave. Please make dua for me, sisters, that it will be easy for me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you and your child from harm and make it easy for you. How do you get into a relationship? Make dua, find a wife. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with a righteous wife and make you a better husband. One dua I used to make is, Ya Allah, make me a good wife for my husband. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you guys. I am going to hop off now. Someone mentioned I wasn't practicing and I don't have a Muslim family, unfortunately. Jazakallahu khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you wa iyyakum. Even if you don't have that family support, there's still so much you can do. And your reward is greater with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you guys. Am I on the East Coast? Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, technically. I gotta go now. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this live if you haven't already. And I have to figure out how to end it. I have no clue how to end it.